Hello.
I'm seeing your screen share. That's all I see.
Right. Join audio. Screen share. All right, who we got here? Yay, Robin's here now too. Screen. I just want to show myself. Why is it doing that? Jeez Louise. There we go.
There, mine's working.
There we go. Now do you see me? Or am I, at least, I don't know why. There.
I see a screen share. That's what I see.
Okay, perfect. Well, either way, we're gonna be listening to you anyway, so let's get going on this. And I'm just gonna see, stop share. Let's see if that will work. There. Okay, perfect.
There, see a picture of you, a picture of everybody else.
Go. And I will, participants, for some reason.
Hello, Robin.
Start video. There. Okay.
Hello, Jessica.
There we go. Appreciate it. Yay, we got another participant. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thanks, Audrea, for your patience there. I just really wanted to have that recording for everybody, so anybody who's unable to make it can tune into this later. So I really wanted Audrea to speak today because she's an inspiration to so many people in the organization because of how little people that she knew when she came to Canada, all of 8 people, and she has built a massive organization for herself. One of the biggest things about Audrea is that she's extremely consistent in the amount of sales that she sends in no matter what is going on in her life, and also the amount of team members. So she signed up May 17th, 2017, so coming up to your 2-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually I thought that this was an error, but Audrey actually promoted to director on October 1st, 2017.
4 months later, yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. So just a few short months, Audrey was able to go from somebody who knew 8 people to somebody who promoted. She has over $100,000 in career sales, so $107,000, and 32.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like so you're going to be special seating at conference for you for Career Club for over 100,000. And you have career recruits of 32, which is huge. So I guess I know what a lot of people struggle with is how do you get bookings? Because especially when you first started, you only knew those few people. What did you do to get started?
Well, I talked to my lovely uplines who gave me wonderful ideas. Yeah, so a lot of people don't know this about me, but yeah, I am American and I immigrated here. So I knew about 8 people in my husband's family and 2 of them bought from me. So we all know that we can't keep selling to family and friends because that's just not going to keep a business running. We have to go out and find people we don't know. So one of the first things I did was when you get those little invite cards in your kit, I think I filled out at least 200 of them. I cooked a delicious meal for my best friend, so she would help me. And then what I did was I had a meet the neighbors party. So my block, I went to a couple blocks, and then I was like, okay, I'm done walking around the blocks, and then I put them in mailboxes in our local post office. So I did that. Actually, funny story, nobody showed up, but I got orders from it. So that was pretty awesome. And yeah, just things like networking. I always say that you cannot just sit on the couch and not work. You need to network. So networking is things like when you're out and about doing errands. I always try to make it a point to talk to at least 10 people when I'm out in doing groceries and doing whatever I have to do. And I usually always wear something with Pampered Chef logo on it, whether that's a hoodie or a t-shirt or my lanyard, and sometimes people see the words Pampered Chef and like, oh my gosh, that's still a thing. So I network that way as well. And when I'm talking to people when I'm out, I'm creating a relationship. So we don't just, jump up to somebody and say, hey, would you like to host a Pampered Chef party? I don't know you, but that doesn't work. So I create a relationship kind of like I see people's hair, or I love their earrings or a scarf, or I just like fashion a lot. So I'll be like, man, I really love your scarf. Where did you get that? And then have a conversation and say, man, I would just love to stay connected with you. I'm new around here. I'd love to meet new people. Can I give you something for just, taking the time to talk to me today? And I'll mail it to you. Can I grab your information? So I say, like, customer service is a big, important thing in my life. And they're like, oh, well, what do you do? Oh, I'm a Pampered Chef consultant. I'd love to give you a cookbook. And then that's how I connect with people that way and get bookings. I'm trying to think of some other ways. It's frowned upon to do this often, so don't do it more than once every 6 months, in my opinion. But I post a game on buy and sell, honestly, because I didn't know anybody, and that was one of the things I did. I posted the game number 1 to 20 saying, pick a number and you'll get a prize. And my prize is always with the booking of a party. So like I said, it is frowned upon to do it often. You do not want to give Pampered Chef a bad name of being spammy and give yourself a bad name. So literally one time every 6 months. That is it. And that's what I still do today if I feel like I need to, which I don't need to anymore, but it was another way I got started. So that's another idea.
So you pick a number between 1 and 20 to win a prize, and then would you that would just get people talking about Pampered Chef, and you direct message all of them to have a show, or how would that work?
Yeah, when I do the picture and then I do the wording, I say, everybody is a winner. Hi, I am a Pampered Chef consultant, and I have so many prizes to give out, but nobody to give them to. Please comment the number that you want, and I'll private message you with your prize. Everybody is a winner. So then when they message, or not when they message, when they comment what number they want, then I go to private messenger and I say, hey, Audrea, thank you so much for supporting my small business. You have chosen lucky number 7, and your prize is, and you can decide what you want the prizes to be. I like to do kitchen paring knives a lot, because then I'm also giving back to the local food banks. You can do season's best, pretty much anything under $5 as just a little something. And then you also tell them about the host rewards and stuff like that. But you always write it like you have won a blue kitchen paring knife with the booking of a virtual experience, a cooking class, or a catalog show. Now, I never say party because it freaks people out, because people are like, ew, party, yuck. When I say like an in-home cooking class, well, of course, we do cooking classes. We're going to teach you how to cook a meal. And we're going to teach you how to use these tools to help you make better food. Or a virtual experience. It's like, ooh, an experience. What is this? Right? So I always word it that way. And then when they're like, oh, what's this all about? I tell them about Pampered Chef. I usually say a lot, I'm like, what do you think? The worst thing that can happen is you receive free product and coupons. There's literally no cost to host a party or experience or cooking class. You just get free stuff.
Oh, I love that. Wow, that's cool. I might have to steal that one and start doing a few of those games in my local groups so I can get some, because my goal is to get some more parties in my area so I'm not driving all around.
Please, only do it once every 6 months.
Yes.
Do not spam your local buy and sell. That is tacky and kind of rude.
Yes, you'll get booted for that. So you normally always set a goal of how many shows that you'd like to do in a month. Is that right?
I don't do a goal for every month. I do a goal for every week.
Okay, what's your goal per week?
So for virtual parties, well, I guess I kind of got that mixed up. I do a monthly goal for home parties, but virtuals are weekly. So my weekly goal for bookings for virtuals is between 4 to 6 a week. And then my home party goal is anywhere between also 4 to 6 a month for home shows.
Nice. Good for you. Such a good goal. So do you find that to get your virtual party bookings, you go through a friend list A to Z? Because I know you spend a lot of time messaging, or what do you normally do?
Yeah, so I actually don't go through my friends list a lot. When I'm just like, okay, I kind of want a couple extra bookings this month, then maybe I'll do some green dotting. And for those of you who don't know what green dotting is, it's when you go into Messenger and you go into, I believe it's now called the people part. So there's a couple options you can go through. And then anybody that has a green dot by their name, that means that they're active or they're on Messenger or Facebook. So you just go down through and one by one click those names. And I always have a script. So I stole this from Audrea 2 years ago, and I've been using it for 2 years, and it's truly a magical script. It's I add a little bit to the beginning. So I say like, "Hi Audrea, I hope you're doing well today." And then if this is a booking off of a party or a message off of a party, then I'll say something like, "It was so nice having you invited to," who do we have here? "Amy's online Pampered Chef party." And then I do another paragraph and I say, "I'm starting my virtual Pampered Chef parties starting April 30th. And I wanted to know if you would like to host one. The host and guest specials are amazing and you get an amazing shopping spree. What do you think?" It's literally that simple. So I'll do that for green dotting, and then I do a lot of messages, but the way I do it is I'm about 80% virtual party. So when I have a virtual party, I friend request literally every single person that was added to that show, whether they actually accepted the invite and they're actually in the going portion, or if they're in the invited portion and haven't clicked the invite. I literally friend request every single person. And then I'll show you a picture here. So if you go into your profile and then you click on your friends list, and then you click to the middle option that says recent, it tells you everybody who has recently accepted a friend request from you or that you have accepted as a friend. So I just go down through that list and then I click on their name. I see who our mutual friend is so I can find my host. And then I go in and say, "Hey, Audrea, I met you at Amy's party. How would you like to host a party?" Right? And so it's kind of hard to see this, but like when I'm done messaging everybody so I know where I left off, I take a screenshot of the last person I messaged and I circle their name and an arrow saying the next person above here is where I need to start messaging again.
Oh, smart.
So, yeah, literally that's how I keep my virtual business going, is I friend request everybody and ask every single person if they want to host a party. Now, I don't message them as soon as they friend request me back, because that's a little creepy in my opinion. So usually wait a couple days and then I'll message them. Or if they message me first, I say like, "Hey, thanks for connecting with me before I messaged you." And then I create a relationship too with them as well.
You've really had to in the past year take your business, or not in the last year, well, I'd say since January, you really moved your business more from virtually to getting more in-home parties?
Not more, but I've definitely seen the need for myself to do some home parties. Like I was doing just a couple starting in, I believe it was September. I was doing like 1 to 2 a month. And so my goal was in January to double that number, because I'm trying to earn Disney level 2. So I also go into my reports from last year, and every month I see what I sold last year and I want to beat that number this month, you know, the comparison. So I knew in January that I'm like, okay, I need to step up my home parties, because my home parties have a pretty good average of above 500. So I'm like, 2 hours, $500 party or more, this will really help. So yeah, I kind of just doubled it. And the same as my virtual parties. I was doing 3 to 4 only a week, and now I'm doing up to 6. So I'm like, I want to beat my goals from last year and the same month from last year.
And did you get most of your virtual or in-home parties from calling, would you say? Or, because I know what's your script when you call somebody? So for people who are just joining in, or if you didn't hear, Audrey is from the States. When she came to Canada, she knew 8 people and that's it. And only 2 of them bought from her. So she seriously had to find a network to sell to. So I'd like to hear how you boosted your home parties.
Yeah, so my home parties, actually, I have a really great accountability partner from leadership, Mary Morrow, and she kind of gave me some really good ideas for things you can say on the phone. And so I spiel when I'm calling people, and literally these people that I call, when I go into my consultant's corner, and then you go to your contacts, and then you can type in like a town or something. So I'll pick a town and I'll call that entire town list that day. And then, well, maybe if it's a long list, I won't take a full day to do it, but I'll just call up somebody and say, oof. Sorry, I have to think here because it's been a couple weeks since I've done it and I need to do it this Saturday. So I'm like, hey, Andrea, how are you? I'm doing some bookings for May for my Pampered Chef parties, and I've been doing this amazing wine, chocolate, and cheese night with this molten chocolate brownie or chicken fajitas and margaritas. And I wanted to know if any of these sounded appetizing to you, and then we can pick a date. I'll come out and spoil you with these recipes, and then I'm going to give you some free product in return. What do you think about that? Or which one sounds appetizing the most to you? So before I was just like, hey, you want to book a Pampered Chef party? But now when you actually tell them a recipe and really sell it and like, oh, this molten chocolate brownie has been so popular lately that these girls just want us to make another one at the party. What do you think? Does that sound appetizing to you? Or what's your favorite wine? I'll bring it out for you. Or what's your favorite kind of margarita?
Nice.
Yeah, so always ask them which one sounds appetizing to you. And then if they're like, oh, well, wine, chocolate, and cheese sounds good to me. Oh, great. Do weekends, weekdays, or brunch shows sound better to you? And then, like, that doesn't really give them a chance to, like, think and say no. That gives them a chance to think, oh, yeah, what day does work for me? And then they're like, oh, yeah, well, weekends are good. Great. I have Saturday, May, I don't know, 4th. Yeah, 4th is 5th is Sunday. May 4th is open. Oh, hot dang, I have that open too. Let's do it. So that's how I've been calling for my parties. And a lot of these people are people I met on online parties too, so that's exciting.
Nice. That is exciting, turning virtual parties into home parties. Yeah.
I do have one more way if you want to hear it.
Yes.
So I like to do a lot of markets. I actually have 4 coming up in May that I'm really excited about. So I grab our popcorn maker and I put down pieces of paper or slips there. And when okay, so if you haven't been able to tell, I'm very hyperactive and I move a lot and I'm just, weird. And when people come up to my market desk or my table, I don't just stand there and be quiet. I'm like, hi, what's your name? Have you ever heard of Pampered Chef before? And I go, I'm having a giveaway. All I need is your name and your number. And if you call, I'll give you, or if you win, I'll give you a call. And they're like, oh, okay, it's free. I'll do it. So then when I get home, every single one of those people that entered my giveaway is a winner. Yeah. So what I do is I call every name and I let them know that they have won a free in-home cooking class. And so when I say free, it is free because normally our hosts pay for the food. I'm going to pay for the food now. So it's completely free. They just have to invite friends and have their friends bring the checkbook. So I literally call every single one of them and say, you are my winner, or I actually say you are one of my winners because my husband made me feel bad one day. You are one of my winners. And then I do my whole spiel about the wine, chocolate, cheese, chicken fajitas, margaritas, and then pick dates that way. And then at the show, I book shows off of there, and they're not free shows then because the first one was free, the friends have to pay. But that's how you can continue then to get your home parties.
Nice. What about, what would your biggest piece of advice be to somebody who doesn't know anybody or feels like they've been through all their friends? What would your advice be for people like that?
So when people tell me that they have asked everybody they know, I tell them you have not asked everybody you know. So I like to say, let's sit down and think about somebody with red hair that you haven't asked yet, or somebody who has a cat or dog, right? So when you say, I've asked everybody, you haven't, because there's always those people that you can be thinking of, but you just got to brainstorm a little. It's hard, it really is, but You will find people, you really will. But then when you actually do run out of people, then like I said before, you got to network. You can't keep selling to your friends and family. Literally, and I'm not kidding when I say this, my very first show was my best friend here in Canada. So she had an $800 show, which was my first in-home party, and it wasn't actually in-home. She took catalogs to work and they ordered. It has been 2 years since she hosted a party, and she's hosting a party next week.
Yay!
So,
good.
like when I say that you cannot keep selling to your family, that's a good example because she hosted 2 years ago, and this is the first time in 2 years she's hosting again. My mother-in-law hosted a party. She hasn't hosted another one yet, just because you can't keep with your family and friends. Now, it's nice. They might put an order in every once in a while, but you really do need to get out there and find people. And like the examples I gave before are perfect ideas. Meet the neighbors' parties. If you don't know your neighbor's name, it's also a great way to go over and say, hi, I've never met you before. We've lived here for 4 years.
Yeah.
I actually did that.
Audrea also signed 11 people last month, which is
Yeah.
insane. I don't know if I've ever signed 11 people in a month. And tell us how you did that.
Well, I hold monthly not booking. I do booking blitzes too, but I held a monthly recruiting blitz, which is the same as green dotting. So that's pretty much what I did. I went down through my list of people who were active, and I did it a couple times last month. Yeah, last month, March. Yeah. Because I wanted everybody to know about this. Like, honestly, I know the way I felt because I had to immigrate for 3 years and my husband could only work. So we were living on a one-person income and it was tough. So I don't want people to feel the way I felt before Pampered Chef. And it is my duty, it's honestly my obligation to tell people about it. And especially last month when we had the smaller kit, I tried a little harder than I normally do. Because I truly want people to feel this way. And now that the 49 kit is over, it's okay. You can still do this, and I still do it. And I'm letting people know about how amazing it is. I tell my story a lot instead of just bombarding them with the facts of Pampered Chef. I let them know how I felt. I let them know that my husband and I sat on our bed the one day, and my husband is a strong man, and Audrea met him, and he does not cry ever, and we cried for at least a half an hour because we had 2 cents, back when there were pennies still in Canada, in our bank account, and he cried. And after that, after Pampered Chef, I mean, we were able to have emergency money. We flew home to see my parents for the first time in 4 years through Pampered Chef money. I don't have to look at price tags when I go to the grocery store anymore. I'm going to start crying. I want people to feel the same way. So why are we not putting our story and telling people about Pampered Chef in our parties? Whether you do a virtual party, I make sure at least one time in every single day of my party, whether it's pre-party, party week, or after party, that there's something about the Pampered Chef opportunity. And that's another way I recruit, is by telling people that way and then checking in with them if they even seem just the tiniest mustard seed of what's the word I'm looking for?
Interest.
Thank you. So I do that. I do the green dotting, and when I'm at home parties, I pull out the little flyer and I'm like, ooh, look what you can get this month. Or I bring it along if I have it, and I show them, like, if you sign this month, I am going to help you reach your first $500 paycheck as your director, so you can get this for free with my help. So I don't like to tell them $1,500 in sales because it's kind of scary. But if you tell them your $500 paycheck, I'm going to help you get that. And when they hear help, then they're not alone. I know in this business, I've never been alone. So I'm never going to leave them alone either, any of my recruits. So sorry, I talk a lot. I go off on spider webs.
Awesome. And when you were messaging these people, one of the most powerful things is you messaged them the most simple thing. What did you message all these people who are getting all these 11 recruits?
Yeah, so I say something like, hey, Audrea, have you ever thought of having a Pampered Chef business of your own? What do you think?
That's it.
Short and simple.
Amazing. Start the
it doesn't scare them. It's not extra fluff that they have to read for like 2 minutes long. It literally takes 10 seconds or less.
Totally. I'm so fired up. That was awesome. Thank you. I'm going to open it up for questions. Any questions you have for Audrey at all about how she's
You were muted, by the way. So if you have a question, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I do have a question about recruiting. Yeah, you guys are directors, and so you guys obviously have recruited a lot more. I haven't recruited anybody, so do I still say that I'm going to help them along? Because I'm not sure if I'm 100% comfortable.
No, you can say you will be trained. My director will help you get started, and I always say that I'll be there to help you out. But really, I'll walk them through the website and stuff like that. Your job is kind of to identify the leads, and then I'll help you get them on board and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I tell my recruits the same thing. Like, because I'm a director, I get to train the recruits of my recruits. And if my recruit that did recruit wants to learn how to train, then they can be on the call too. But I like to take the pressure off until they decide they want to be in the directorship level of promotion. And then I help them with that too. So yeah, if you aren't a director and you want to recruit, but you're scared that you have to train somebody and you don't know what the heck to do, your director will help.
That's me.
Yeah, don't worry. Your director will help you. Your director, that's their job. But if you
catalog,
you can
sell this stuff. No, just kidding. But seriously, make it till you make it. And I would come out and help them with their first show. Like Amy's gal is having a show tomorrow, and we're gonna go help her with that, which is super exciting.
Yep, same.
So yeah.
Audrea, I have a question for you.
Amy.
Is that how you say your name? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Audrea.
Audrea. Okay, perfect. So when you friend request everybody, do you like keep track of like where you met those people from?
Okay, so what I do is when they accept my friend request, and I'm doing my messaging day, which is actually Tuesday, so I'll be doing that after our call. I go into their profile, and then I go to their friends list and click the mutual button. And then the mutual button, I go down through their mutual friends, and I look to see who my recent host was. So if I went down through your friends list and Andrea was my recent host, I go to mutual, boom, I see Andrea's name. And then I tell them I met them in Andrea's party.
Oh, okay. So I imagine it gets a little bit tangled sometimes when like you've had a host like say a year ago and you still want to contact that person, but then you forget who they were.
Sometimes, yeah. I've had I've had like 3 mutual host friends in the friends list, and then I'm not gonna lie, I just pick one and say, you were in Andrea's party, and they're like, was I? I'm like, yeah, you were totally invited. You just weren't able to participate, and I wanted to see you wanted the same rewards. So like Andrea said, take it till you make it.
Right.
Can't tell who it was unless, I mean, you could go back into the virtual party and then look down through the list and be like, oh yeah, she was in this party, but ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm always clicking on that mutual one, and then normally you can connect the dots pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And people just know you as the Pampered Chef lady. So like, hey, I'm the Pampered Chef lady, you've been in a few of my parties. So you have your own party, get free things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Question, Jessica, with your proper raised hand.
That's me, because I don't have a video going. So anyhow, I just want to know, what is the most popular platform for your virtual parties? Like, I've tried the Squeeter, and I just didn't find it very, like, you know, it's hard to interact with people because they don't RSVP or go to these parties. Like, if it's on Facebook, group versus event.
Okay. I've actually never done any other platform other than Facebook. I'm not gonna lie, Facebook works for me, and I'm afraid of change. And I'm afraid this is stupid, but I'm afraid to risk it on another app. So I'm just sticking with what has been working for me until it doesn't work for me, and then I'm forced to try something new.
So do you use the Squeeter, or the Cinch Share on that, like with the groups?
Yep. So I I loved events, and I used Post My Party for a while because Post My Party wouldn't let you do it in groups. But then when the whole kerfuffle with Facebook not letting you do self-posting apps, oh, sorry, can you still hear me, guys? Something just.
Yep.
Yeah, when Facebook changed and said you can't use it in events anymore, I switched to groups. I'm just too busy to do events and post myself. The way my virtual parties are is I'm posting a couple times a day, multiple posts. And I also work full-time as a TV producer, so I just don't have time to do events. So I use SendShare on Facebook groups, but I'm very involved. I make sure on the days that I do work that on my breaks and when my boss isn't looking, I'll pop on Facebook and just answer some questions. So you really need to be active, because I have noticed the weeks that I'm not very active, I don't get that many bookings and the sales are not that great. So the weeks that I literally, on every single comment, I say something, those are fantastic weeks for sales and fantastic parties for bookings, because they get to know me, I get to know them. And of course, SendShare just makes it a lot nicer that I'm not worrying about posting all the time and then hurrying up and commenting. It just kind of takes the pressure off too. So if you're not using a SendShare, you really should try it out, because it'll free your time up a lot and you'll be able to do more things that are important, like actually connecting with the guests and making phone calls and connecting with your hosts.
Do you still make an event for your group?
I don't make events. No, I do groups only.
So for Facebook, it's not an event. You just create a group and allow other people to invite. Is that?
Yeah. I create a group, and then I actually used to do a host coaching group as well, but I was noticing that my hosts weren't really doing what I was asking them to. So now I actually do it in Messenger for my hosts. So their very first task when I create their party, I say, here's a script, go and invite, or I don't say invite anymore. I say add. I say add people, because there's no invite button. There's a add button in groups. So I say, go add 50 to 70 guests. Now, the reason that we do that is because we can expect at least a quarter of them to click the invite and actually participate and go. And then I say, here's a script. I need you to send this to your top 30 people by Monday. So I create their group on Thursday, and by Monday, they need to have sent this to 30 people. Awesome. So yeah. And I do give them a host task, actually 2 host tasks a day. And if they don't do it by the end of the day, I'm messaging them like, hey, it takes 30 seconds, please do this. Because you want your host to be active. I always tell them, you invite people over to your house, you're not going to go hide in the pantry all night, are you? No, you're going to interact and participate. And so I tell them that they need to be participating as well. So that's really how you get the people in your group, is your host really needs to do that as the work, because you can't do that. You're not friends with their Facebook friends, so they need to do that part.
Andrea, I recall you posting something SendShare platform, or a platform to use for your virtual parties.
Yeah.
It laid out basically the schedule for it?
Yeah, so that's the program that we're talking about. SendShare will automatically post, you create a template once, and then you can apply it to every virtual party, so that you don't have to post manually. It posts automatically for you. And there's a SendShare 101 this Sunday night. And you might want to write this down. I'll find out when it is. I'll tag you in it. But it's, yes, SendShare 101, and that will really, really help. Let's see what time it's at.
Okay.
At 6:30 p.m. That's actually hosted by a Pampered Chef person. So she works for SendShare and Pampered Chef, so that's pretty nice. She can customize it to us a bit.
Okay. Okay. And then that allows you, it's kind of to do a virtual party. Let's kind of, you just run, say, 4 or 5 parties all at once. It starts on a certain day. Right?
Yes. But
now, can you have one start at an off time or not really?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was talking over you.
Sorry, they should all start at the same same time? Like if one starts at a different time, does that matter?
You cannot
Like a
have
day
them all
later?
start at the same time. You will get put in Facebook jail. So, and I've been in Facebook jail and it sucks. So to avoid that, for instance, my parties, I start pre-party on Friday nights. My first party will start at 5, and then I've got 3 posts, so 5, 5:02, 5:04. I go by 2 minutes. Other people go by 1 minute. I'm just being on the safe side and doing every 2 minutes. Some people do every 5 minutes, but I have never, knock on wood, I've never got put in jail for every 2 minutes. So because of that then, so 5:01 or 5 o'clock, 5:02, 5:04, that's my first party. And then 5:10, I will start the next party. So 5:10, 5:12, 5:14. Then the next party, I will start at 5:20. So I try to give a little bit of time in between as well before I post. Now, if I have more than 9 parties, I have to kind of change it up a bit. Sometimes I run some launch parties for my team, and so I've got to do a couple extra. So yeah, I just have to adjust my timing. But never, ever, ever have 8 parties start at 5 o'clock. You can't post in 8 parties at the same time. Facebook will be like, whoa, that's like a bot. You're not one person doing this, because one person will at least take 2 minutes to get to another page and post something. So
they just like 5 minutes apart. So one can start at 5, and then your next party will start at 5:05. Your next party starts at 5.
But make sure if you have multiple posts, like I do, so if you have 3 posts starting at 5 o'clock, you have to wait until that 3rd post is posted to start your next party.
But don't worry, don't get too worried about that, Corinne. You just book some virtual parties, and then we'll worry about timing of your posts. We'll
help you with that. Like if you book a virtual party, message one of us. Then we'll worry about it.
Okay, so then
don't take everything on at once. It will overwhelm you, and then that's not good. So just one thing at a time. You were asking a question, I interrupted, I'm sorry.
The reason we suggest doing a number of virtual parties at the same time is it's an automatic post. So virtual parties are all over the map. I've had virtual parties from $0 to $2,500. So if you just did one virtual party in a month and it was $0, that's kind of like disheartening. You're like, these virtual parties suck. But if you do 4 at the same time, you might get one that's $200, one that's $800. You get more of a variety of
you do 0, you get 0.
Yes, and that's very common. So the number one reason you're going to get 0 from virtual parties is the host is not participating enough. So the host needs to do at least 1 post a day, and you can send them some post ideas. You can find those under virtual parties, virtual party training on the site, or just send them. What I normally do is I say, what's your favorite Pampered Chef product? And then I'll just send them a bunch of pictures, be like, post these in the group.
That's a good idea. I've never done that.
Yeah, and then I really would like if they would actually Google the product, but they're always like, and I always just send them the bloody images and they post them.
Yeah.
And then you always want your host to direct message the guests on the last day and be like, thanks for joining in. The party's ending. And then you direct message all the people too, because man, have I been getting a lot of orders lately. Oh, thank you so much for messaging me. I totally forgot. So just message them.
I do want to say one thing about those $0 Pampered Chef virtuals. They're never a failure. A $0 Pampered Chef or $0 virtual party is not a fail, because you're going to book a party off that party, and then that party is going to be a good party. So every time I have a $0 virtual party, I'm like, all right, I want 2 to 3 bookings off of this crappy party.
So you give the host.
Don't take it as a fail ever, because you're going to book a party and it's going to be a kick-ass party.
I like that.
Yeah.
What do you give the host if it's like a $0 party?
What do I give the host?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just going to be blunt. I just say, I'm so sorry. I tried my best. Would you like to order anything? I'll offer you free shipping or something like that if they were a good host. If they didn't do anything, like last week I had a host that just was non-existent. The time she added people till the party was over, she didn't even answer me back with any of my calls, messages, and I just said, I'm so sorry. There were no orders in your party.
Okay. Yeah. Or you can offer them like a 10% discount if they want to order something, or like something like that. You can offer them discounted. I'll be like, I can offer you party shipping, $6 shipping if you order.
Yeah.
Then you can send in their order for less than $200.
I'm so
Yeah,
mean.
I like that now.
I'm so
too.
mean. I don't offer the bad ones, the ones that actually didn't do anything, but the ones that actually tried, I'll offer them something. Yeah, like Andrew said, free shipping or something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to collect all like the small orders if like they direct message me about an order, and then just collect them onto a party, and then you could get like the host that you favor, like, you know, give them the big like future party pick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Good questions. Our Zoom is nearly up, so unless there's any more questions. Any more questions, anybody? Thank you guys so much for your time, and thanks to Audrea for I'm all fired up now. $0 virtuals mean big parties around the corner. I love that.
Book off of them $0 parties, because it's not a failure, and you worked your ass off for that party. So
That's right.
you deserve to get a booking from that, or 2 or 7. Some other ideas that I have been thinking of lately. If you're not new, not recommended for new people, a mystery host party is a good idea for you if you're trying to reach your 850 in sales this month to get your level 1. Try a virtual mystery host party, or do a mystery host party by just collecting orders, and that's when anybody who doesn't order gets an entry into winning the host rewards. Other things is you can do a bulk order, like the food banks always need help, so you can do the what are they called? The paring knives, and sell them for sets. For every one of these sold, the local food bank gets a meal donation, so that's another way to help you with sales and get your level 1. So just some ideas there, and who knows, you might get a booking off of those too.
Love that. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And I'm going to record this so you can let anybody know on your team or anybody else that we're going to post this up. Thank you so much, Audrea. You rock. Very inspiring for all of us peoples.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your night, you guys.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.